27.
I thought it was 4,000, but I could be. 4,000? That's what I thought, like around 4,000.
Probably 4,000.
Right, I have no clue. So it was definitely felt like a lot of people.
Whoever came last night's not here tonight.
We're on Chavav Amid Aleph. If you were never here before, you should be totally fine getting involved. These are types of Gemaras that are like easy. We're familiar with these ideas, and it's not anything. You don't have to know any previous information. Chavav Amid Aleph. I'm actually going to chazer a little bit. I'll tell you when we start fresh. I'm going to start from Cholim Umisham Shehem. It's pretty much in the middle of the page. Cholim Umisham Shehem, sick people and their caretakers. Everyone okay? Good? Where we are? Cholim Umisham Shehem. People who are sick are pater from being in the sukkah, and those who take care of them as well. You're pater from sukkah. Says the Gemara Tanu Rabbanan. The Rabbanan taught in the Braisa. Chayla Shamru. When we say that a chayla is pater, when we're talking about a sick person, we're not talking about a guy that's seriously sick in sakanas nefashos. Of course that guy's pater. There's not even like a question. Ella, rather, what are we talking about? He's very sick. He has the flu. Let's just call him a guy with the flu, but he's not anywhere near a sakana. Even that guy's pater from sukkah. Afilu chash be'enav. Even if he has a pain in his eyes. Vafilu chash b'roisha. Even if he has a headache. So all these types of people are pater from sukkah. Amar Mishem ben Gamliel, Pamachas, one time chashti be'enai be'Kesaria, I had an ache in my eyes in Kesaria. The hitta Reb Yesi beribi, and Reb Yesi, the chashava one, beribi means the chashava one, the Gadol Adar, he allowed me, lishan aniu mishamshai, for me and my caretakers to go to sleep, chutz the sukkah, to sleep outside the sukkah. So the Braisa brings down the story, seems pretty clear that if you have any sort of like, sorry, you don't feel well, you're pater from the sukkah. The Gemara brings down the story. Rav Sharaler of Acha Bardala. Rav Shara permitted Rav Acha Bardala lemigna to sleep bekilsa in a canopy bed besukkah in the sukkah, even though when you're in the canopy bed you're fully enclosed, it's not like you're in the sukkah, so you're not getting the mitzvah of being in the sukkah. Still, he allowed him. Why? Mishu baki, because of bugs. The bugs itself were at tsar. Because it was so buggy in the sukkah, therefore he slept in this canopy bed and he was okay. That was all a chazara. This is what we're up to right now. Okay? The Gemara is going to bring down another story about this. Rava Sharale l'Rabbi Acha bar Ada. Rava Sharale, he permitted, Shar means permitted late to him, to who? To Rabbi Acha bar Ada. Lemigna, to sleep, bar, outside, mim talalta. Mim talalta is the Aramaic word for a sukkah. If you look at Targum Onkelos on the word sukkah in the Torah, it's called mim talalta. It literally means shade, but it means the sukkah. He allowed him to sleep outside mim talalta from the sukkah, mishum, because sircha de gargishta. What does that mean? Sircha means the bad smell. De gargishta means white sand. For some reason, they would put down on the floor like some sort of white sand to like, I guess they don't want like a muddy or like grassy floor, a white sand. But sometimes it smelled bad. It depends on the guy. So this person, Rav Acha bar Ada, he couldn't stand the smell of this gargishta, this white sand. So Rav allowed him to sleep outside the sukkah, which is like even going a step further. We spoke about being sick. We spoke about bugs in the sukkah. What about a bad smell? If a guy doesn't enjoy the smell, he's allowed. Rava says you don't have to sleep in the sukkah.
He created it.
What? So it's a very good question. People ask this. If he's the one that did it, what was he thinking? Either he did it, he didn't chap how bad it would be, or he's in somebody else's sukkah. He's a guest. So if you're by your in-laws, it might be a tour, whatever. If you have something, you're a guest, and you don't like what's going on by the sukkah, you might be pater. Where's Rava coming from to take it this far? Rava l'tameh. Rava's going according l'tameh to his reasoning. The Amar Rava, for Rava says, mitztar, somebody who is mitztar from things that are going on in the sukkah. The sukkah is bothering him. Pater min sukkah, he is pater from being in the sukkah. Why? Because we said, teshu. You have to live in the sukkah like you live in your home. The same way if you lived in your home, you wouldn't want to live in such a situation. So too in the sukkah, you don't have to live bitzar. If it's bitzar, you're pater. In all these cases, are cases of tsar. The Gemara has a question. Anan tnan. Anan means we. We learned in the Mishnah, our Mishnah that we just had. Chaylin umisham shehem p'tur min sukkah. The Mishnah said people that are sick and their caretakers are patur from the sukkah. Make an inference, make a diak. Chayla in. A chayla is patur from the sukkah. Mitztar loy. Right? The Mishnah said if you're sick, yeah, you're patur from the sukkah. But you're just mitztar, you're mitztar from the white sand, the smell of it. No. Only if you're sick, a legitimate reason. So how could Rava say that type of tsar you're patur from the sukkah? The Gemara answers, Amri means they say. He didn't answer. They say as an answer for Rava. Chayla, when Mishnah says Chayla is coming to tell you who umisham shepturim. The sick guy, him and his caretakers are patur. Mitztar, someone who's just mitztar, who patur misham shavloi, but his caretakers are not. The reason why the Mishnah shows Chayla is not to tell you that a mitztar is chayv in sukkah. Mitztar is also patur in sukkah. It's coming to tell you this added level of chiddush. Not only is this Chayla patur, but even the guys taking care of him are patur. But if somebody's mitztar, okay, you're patur from the sukkah. We're not going to say now, yeah, but I need people to be with me because it's disgusting, the smell. So everyone now, the whole family is patur from the sukkah. No. That's limited to the guy that's not enjoying the smell. He could go into his house. We don't say now that I'm taking care of him. He's a parent. I'm going to go into the house. No. But if somebody's sick, that's a legitimate reason that even his caretakers are going to be patur from the sukkah. So that's why the Mishnah chose Chayla to bring out the idea of the Misham Shein. One interesting thing about Rava, just one thing about Rava, interesting, we brought him down here. His name wasn't Rava. We're so familiar, Rava, that was not his name. His real name was Rav Abba ben Yosef ben Chama. But they shortened it and called him Rava. And he married, just throwing out a random thing about him, he married, we see like Rav Chizah on the Gemaras, Rava married Rav Chizah's daughter. Yeah, interesting shidduch. Like, whoa, like that they're married. Rava married Rav Chizda's daughter. Just an interesting thing. Fine. Moving along.
Question.
Yes.
I know I'm coming in.
Yeah.
We've had past in Bravo. Started past with the sukkah.
Yes.
If I go to someone's sukkah and there's bugs all around.
Yeah. I don't want to get into halach l'maisa because it's not related to the Gemara, but yes, overall, if someone's mistar because of bugs, bees, things and the like, if he really is not enjoying himself, can't eat his normal meal, and he would leave her in his house, he would never stay in his home, then you'd be patur from sukkah.
If it's such a bad smell, then shouldn't it be like you can't daven if it smells bad? You can't.
I don't know. There are types of smells that are not a problem for davening. If let's say it smells like I'm making up whiteout, I can't stand the smell of whiteout or gasoline at a gas station. You could daven right there. But you can't daven next to a smelly bathroom or meriglaim or urine, things like that. Not every smell that smells bad is a halachic problem. But if a guy's been starved from a sukkah, then it could be any smell. He's not enjoying himself there.
Doesn't have to go find another sukkah.
It's a good question. Pasha's not. No, a lot of these things you're patur. You don't have to start going crazy to find the sukkah. No, you're patur. You don't have to travel to a different place. You're patur. Teshu came to do it. You wouldn't start going crazy. No. If you could go to a sukkah, no, we said if it's a tircha. If it's a sukkah, I could go from my house and live in the sukkah on sukkahs, fine. You have to start going to other places, you're not mechuyev to. Again, don't think anything I said, Allah is 100%, just overall idea. Okay, moving along. The next words are a quote from the Mishnah. Just look at the words of the Mishnah first. Just turn back one page, Chaf Hey Amid Aleph, just to see it inside. It's the Mishnah towards the top. We learned 3 halachas. We learned about shluchei mitzvah. We learned about the chaylin. Here's the third one. It's the last couple of words of the Mishnah. Oichlin v'shaisin. You're allowed to eat and drink. Arai. Arai means temporary, but it really means a snack. You're allowed to eat and drink in a snacking way. Chutz sukkah, outside the sukkah. Okay? So the Mishnah tells us you're having a snack, a bag of chips, a candy, a small drink. You do not have to eat in the sukkah. It can be eaten outside the sukkah.
Pretzels even?
So again, I don't want to get into that because that's already, but snacks. I threw chips out to make it easy.
You said chips.
I know. So let's see the Gemara now. Let's see the Gemara. Eichlin achila sarai chutz sukkah. The Gemara is not going to focus on drinking. The Gemara is going to focus on eating. It quotes the Mishnah. You could eat, achilas are means snacks. You could eat snacks outside the sukkah. Says the Gemara. V'kama achilas aray. How much is an achilas aray, is a snack? That's a very tricky thing to say. Any snacks can be eaten outside the sukkah. How much? Can I start pounding chips? Could I have, start drinking a ton? What is the amount of food that I'm allowed to eat outside the sukkah? Amar Rav Yosef, says Rav Yosef, Tarti oitlas be'i. 2 or 3, be'i is the Aramaic word for eggs. You can eat 2 or 3 eggs worth of food. Just interesting. You ever learned Maseches Beitza and people say Beya? You ever wonder that? Mm-hmm. They call it Beya? What's Pshat on that? They say Beya instead of Beitza.
It's a Taisus.
What does Taisus say?
That Beitza is inappropriate. No?
Beitza is inappropriate because it's referring to a man's beitzim, his testicles, which are called beitzim. So it's like we use Beya. So people think, I'll just take out the tzadi and say some random word. It's not a random word. Beya is the Aramaic word for beitza. Okay, just throwing it out there. It's not like blah blah. It's not just like just saying a thing not to say the tzadi. It happens to be that is the word that's used for an egg in Aramaic. But the beitzim of a person are not described as bayim in Aramaic. So that's why it's a good word to get out of the world of beya. You say beya. Instead of saying beitza, you say beya. So the Gemara says over here that you could eat 2 or 3 eggs. Now, if you're wondering to yourself 2 or 3, so just say 3, right? You can eat up to 2 or 3 eggs. Just tell me 3. Great question. We're not discussing it. They asked us. You asked this question. But at the end of the day, it's a way of saying 2 or 3 eggs worth. That already is an amount you could eat outside the sukkah. Amar le Abaya, Abaya said to him, V'hazimnin sagi'in. Zimna means times, sagi'in means many. There are many times. Sagile, it's enough for him, for who? Le'inish, for a man. Ba'achi with this. Sometimes 2 or 3 eggs is all you want to eat. V'habalei sudas keva, and it became a fixed meal. It's a regular meal. It's a regular suda, right? 2 or 3 eggs. Not every guy eats so much. A snack. A lot of guys lunch. They have a quick meal thing. That's his meal. It's not a snack. Your snack, 2 or 3 eggs is already a meal. Abai says, how could you say 2 or 3 eggs you can eat outside the sukkah? For a lot of people, that's enough for a meal. I guess for these people, for us, I think we eat a lot more, but for them, that was already something. Elo, rather, different. Elo always means we're changing it. Different answer, different amount. Rather, Amr Abaya says, this is how much. Kiditoim bar beirav. Bar beirav means a son of yeshiva, basically a boy in yeshiva, a yeshiva boy. The Mount Kiditoim, like a yeshiva boy tastes. Kiditoim means like the tasting of a bar beirav, the son of a yeshiva guy. The ayol lekala. And he goes into kala, not a lady here. He goes to the kala, like we say yarche kala. I'll explain to you what that means. Basically, let's just say the beis medrash. You know, like you're going to Kinyan Masech Shir, and it's from 9 o'clock to 9:20. I need to eat something right before. It's like that amount, because it might go a little longer than 9:20. It might go like 9:20. I need to eat something, a little bun, something. That amount of tasting that you would eat right before a shir, because it might go a little longer than expected. That's the amount. Now, he does not tell you the amount, how much it is. Doesn't say. But Rashi says it's about 1 beya. Okay? It means one of those. 1 egg's worth. 1 egg's worth. The Gemara doesn't say it so clearly, but I'm telling you it's 1 egg's worth. Just one of them.
Actually, it says babeka, and it's like breakfast.
Right, it could be in breakfast. Yeah, the Gemara didn't say it like that, but yeah, it could be for breakfast. What you would eat, just to go into the beis medrash for a second. So we have here, the Gemara asks, you can snack outside the sukkah, how much? Rav Yosef said 2 or 3 eggs. Abaye said, that's already a lot. Some people, that's their whole meal. Rather, Abaye says, the amount is how much you would eat right before a shir, going into the beis medrash, take a quick snack, because it might extend, and we're calling that 1 egg's worth. 2 things that are interesting. We have here Rav Yosef and Abaye. One thing about Rav Yosef and one thing about Abaye. Rav Yosef was a Rebbe of Abaye's, and just to let you know, Rav Yosef, toward the ends of his life, he became blind and senile at the end of his life. And Abaye very often had to remind him of different things that he said and help him with his learning. But not at this point. Abaye didn't say this to him. That sounds like Rav Yosef was still good at this point. That's one thing about Rav Yosef. And this one thing about Abai, we mentioned Rava, Abai's name wasn't Abaya. His name, according to most, was Nachmeni. His name was Nachmeni. Abaya was a nickname, and he was an orphan, and he was raised by his uncle. Okay, and Abaya, well known. So Abaya argues on Rav Yosef over here. What's the kala? They went up to the kala. Just to describe to you what the kala was, the word kala, I don't know exactly what it means, but it comes from a gathering. It means like, almost in the word kol, like all. Not the kala of a lady. Now, I'd rather think that a kala is called that sometimes. Maybe she encompasses like all beauty. I don't know exactly why kala is called a kala, but could be there's something about kol, she encompasses everything. They used to have twice a year a yarche kala. Yarche means months. Months kala of like where everyone got together and they would have shiurim, and they usually had it once before Pesach, Adar time, and once before Sukkot or Shana Kippur in El. It was called the Kala, and it was like a major matzav. And it was well known, people would come from all over the place for this Kala. Until today, people use the Yarche Kala expression for all types of these learning things. For people going to Eretz Yisrael, for a Yarche Kala. Now, it doesn't have to be in Elul or in Adar. They're just taking those words for people to come together, leave their work, and sort of learn for a few days, hear things, be inspired. That was the Yarche Kala. So over here when it says that the way they would taste and then go into the Kala, I guess sometimes the Kalas went a little bit longer, the Beis Medrash, those type of shiurim, so therefore they would eat right before. And I guess we'll stop over here because I said to you I'm going to go past, I'm going to go end early. Shkoyach.
Something more.